Militant groups from India operating against the People's Defense Force in Myanmar. Strategies, Reasons, and Ambitions. June 2025. This report examines Indian militant groups, including the National Socialist Council of Nagalim Isak-Muivah, NSCN-IM, United National Liberation Front, UNLF, People's Liberation Army, PLA, and Kanglei Yawol Kanna Lup, KYKL, and their activities against the People's Defense Force, PDF, in Myanmar as of June 2025. It focuses on their strategies, reasons for supporting the Myanmar junta, and their aims and ambitions in the region. The analysis draws on a deep search of available data, including web sources and posts on X, to provide a comprehensive understanding of these groups' roles in Myanmar's ongoing conflict. Overview of Indian militant groups' involvement in Myanmar. The PDF, established as the armed wing of Myanmar's National Unity Government, NUG, following the 2021 military coup, is a key resistance force fighting the Myanmar junta. Comprising local militias and allied ethnic armed organizations, EAOs, the PDF has gained significant ground, particularly in regions like Sagaing, Magway, and Taninthari. However, certain Indian militant groups, primarily based in northeast India and operating along the India-Myanmar border, have been reported to work against the PDF, aligning with pro-junta forces. These groups include the NSCN-IM, UNLF, PLA, and KYKL, collectively referred to as Valley-based insurgent groups, VBIGs in some contexts, due to their origins in Manipur's Imphal Valley. Their opposition to the PDF stems from strategic alignments, regional power dynamics, and mutual interests with the junta, despite their primary objectives being rooted in Indian separatist movements. Strategies employed against the PDF, coordinated offensives with pro-junta forces. Indian militant groups have been implicated in joint military operations with pro-junta militias, such as the Pew Sahi and Shani Nationalities Army, SNA, targeting PDF positions near the India-Myanmar border. A notable example is the January 2025 offensive in Tamu Township, Sagaing region, where VBIGs, including PLA, UNLF, and KYKL cadres, participated in a surprise attack on a PDF camp near Tejang and Mintar villages. The assault involved airstrikes, drone bombings, and ground engagements, resulting in 6 to 7 PDF casualties. These operations demonstrate a strategy of leveraging junta resources, including air support and artillery, to weaken PDF strongholds in border areas critical to resistance supply lines. The NSCN-IM's role in these offensives is less direct but significant. Sources in Tamu Township reported in January 2025 that NSCN-IM facilitated the movement of VBIG reinforcements from Namli and Wangli villages in Manipur's Kamjong district, near the border. This logistical support indicates a strategy of enabling pro-junta operations without overt military engagement, preserving NSCN-IM's ceasefire status with India while undermining the PDF. Logistical and arms support. A key strategy involves providing logistical support and arms to pro-junta forces. The NSCN-IM's China-Myanmar module has been accused of supplying arms, ammunition, and explosives to PLA and KYKL cadres operating against the PDF. This support facilitates VBIG's ability to conduct sustained operations in Myanmar's Sagaing division, where PDF forces are active. The provision of safe passage through NSCN-IM-controlled areas along the border further enhances the mobility of these groups, allowing them to infiltrate Myanmar and target PDF camps. This strategy exploits the porous India-Myanmar border, where weak enforcement enables cross-border movements. The UNLF, particularly its Pambe faction, has been reported to transport weapons across the border, leveraging its bases in Myanmar's Sagaing division. Posts on X in January 2025 highlighted the presence of UNLF, PLA, and KYKL camps in Myanmar, from which they launch attacks. These camps serve as staging grounds for operations against the PDF, with groups reportedly stockpiling arms procured through regional smuggling networks. exploiting ethnic and regional tensions. Indian militant groups exploit ethnic divisions in Myanmar and Manipur to undermine the PDF. The Meitei-dominated PLA, KYKL, and UNLF capitalize on the ongoing Meitei-Kykl ethnic conflict in Manipur, which began in May 2023 to align with pro-junta forces against Kykl-affiliated groups like the Kykl National Army Burma, KNAB, an ally of the PDF. By framing their operations as a defense of Meitei interests, these groups justify their anti-PDF actions, particularly in border areas where Kykl communities are present. The NSCN-IM, while not directly engaged in ethnic clashes, accuses Indian security forces of supporting Kykl groups like KNAB and the PDF, alleging a proxy war against Naga interests. This narrative allows NSCN-IM to indirectly support pro-junta forces by facilitating V-Big operations, positioning itself as a counterweight to Kykl-aligned resistance. This strategy of leveraging ethnic rivalries weakens the PDF's alliances with groups like KNAB, fragmenting the resistance. Propaganda and disinformation. Indian militant groups employ propaganda to discredit the PDF and justify their alignment with the junta. The NSCN-IM, in statements issued in 2023 and 2024, accused the Indian government of using the PDF and KNAB as proxies against Naga interests, framing their actions as defensive. Similarly, V-Bigs use social media and local networks to portray the PDF as a threat to regional stability, aligning their rhetoric with junta narratives. This disinformation strategy aims to erode local support for the PDF in border communities, particularly in Sagaing, where civilian displacement is rampant due to clashes. Reasons for supporting the junta. Strategic alignment with junta objectives. The primary reason Indian militant groups support the junta is the strategic alignment of interests. The junta provides these groups with safe havens in Myanmar's Sagaing division and Kachin state, where they maintain camps free from Indian military pressure. In return, groups like PLA, KYKL, and UNLF engage the PDF, weakening the resistance that threatens junta control. The NSCN-IM, while less overtly involved, benefits from this arrangement by maintaining influence in border areas without direct confrontation with the PDF. The junta's tolerance of these groups' camps, despite India's request for action, underscores a mutual dependency. Posts on X in May 2024 noted that NSCNK, PLA, and KYKL camps in Myanmar face no eviction threats from the Myanmar military, a situation that persisted into 2025. This arrangement allows V-Bigs to operate against the PDF while pursuing their separatist agendas in India. Countering Kykl-affiliated resistance. The Meitei-Kykl conflict in Manipur drives PLA, KYKL, and UNLF to oppose the PDF due to its alliances with KNAB and other Kykl groups. The KNAB, with an estimated 1,100 fighters in Tamu Township alongside the PDF, is a key resistance player. V-Bigs view the PDF's success as empowering Kykl groups, which they perceive as rivals in Manipur's ethnic power struggle. Supporting the junta allows these groups to target KNAB and the PDF simultaneously, weakening their adversaries in both Myanmar and Manipur. The NSCN-IM's opposition to Kykl groups further motivates its indirect support for pro-junta forces. By facilitating V-Big operations, NSCN-IM aims to curb Kykl influence in border regions, aligning with junta efforts to suppress resistance. Access to resources and arms. Supporting the junta provides Indian militant groups with access to arms and financial resources. The junta's control over Myanmar's drug trade and smuggling routes, particularly in the Golden Triangle, benefits groups like NSCN-IM, which reportedly engages in drug trafficking and extortion. The PLA and KYKL also rely on these networks to fund operations, with arms procured through junta. The UNLF's Bombay faction, despite signing a peace agreement with India in 2023, reportedly continues cross-border arms smuggling, supporting junta-aligned militias. This dual role allows UNLF to maintain influence in Myanmar while opposing the PDF. Indian government pressure. Indian militant groups face significant pressure from Indian security forces, particularly the Assam Rifles and National Investigation Agency, NIA. The NIA's March 2024 charge sheet accused NSCN-IM of supporting PLA and KYKL to destabilize Manipur, prompting these groups to seek refuge in Myanmar. Aligning with the junta shields them from Indian counterinsurgency operations, as Myanmar's military has historically ignored India's requests to dismantle rebel camps. This protection motivates their anti-PDF stance, as supporting the junta ensures their survival in Myanmar. Aims and ambitions in Myanmar. Maintaining safe havens. A primary ambition for NSCN-IM, Unlf, PLA, and KYKL is to maintain their camps in Myanmar as safe havens for training, recruitment, and planning operations against Indian forces. The PDF's control over border areas like Tamu Township threatens these bases, as resistance victories could lead to increased scrutiny or eviction by anti-junta forces. By opposing the PDF, these groups aim to preserve their operational freedom in Myanmar, ensuring a fallback position for their Indian separatist campaigns. Expanding regional influence. The NSCN-IM seeks to expand its influence in Naga-inhabited areas of northwest Myanmar, aligning with its goal of a greater Nagalim. Supporting pro-junta forces indirectly strengthens NSCN-IM's position in these regions, as a weakened PDF reduces competition for territorial control. Similarly, VBIGs aim to assert dominance in border areas, leveraging junta support to counter Kykl and other resistance groups. This ambition enhances their bargaining power in Manipur's ethnic conflicts and Indian peace talks. Destabilizing rival ethnic groups. For PLA, KYKL, and UNLF, a key aim is to destabilize Kykl groups like KNAB, which are allied with the PDF. Success for the PDF could embolden Kykl communities in Manipur, threatening Meitei dominance. By supporting the junta, these groups seek to weaken KNAB and the PDF, indirectly suppressing Kykl influence in both Myanmar and Manipur. This ambition aligns with their broader goal of securing Meitei interests in the region. The NSCN-IM's ambition to curb Kykl influence complements this strategy, as it views Kykl groups as encroaching on Naga lands. Facilitating VBIG operations against the PDF serves this goal, reinforcing NSCN-IM's regional clout. Leveraging junta support for separatist goals. Indian militant groups aim to leverage junta support to advance their separatist objectives in India. For NSCN-IM, junta backing provides leverage in its stalled peace talks with. For VBIGs, junta support enhances their military capabilities, enabling attacks on Indian forces while weakening the PDF. This dual strategy strengthens their position in Manipur's insurgency landscape, with the ultimate ambition of achieving autonomy or independence. Detailed analysis of June 2025 developments. NSCN-IM's role. In June 2025, the NSCN-IM's activities against the PDF were primarily logistical. Its amnesty announcement on June 13th aimed to consolidate Naga factions, indirectly strengthening its border influence. By facilitating VBIG movements, NSCN-IM maintained pressure on the PDF without direct engagement, preserving its ceasefire with India. This strategy reflects a cautious ambition to balance regional power dynamics while avoiding escalation with Indian forces. VBIG operations. No specific June 2025 engagements involving PLA, KYKL, or UNLF against the PDF were reported, but their ongoing presence in Myanmar camps suggests continued low-level operations. The January 2025 Tamu offensive set a precedent for their anti-PDF strategy, with VBIGs likely maintaining similar tactics in June. Their ambition to counter KNAB and secure Meitei interests drives these efforts, supported by junta resources. Civilian impact. The anti-PDF operations have exacerbated civilian displacement. The June 13 to 14 evacuations in Sagaing, where hundreds fled clashes involving PDF and junta-aligned forces, highlight the humanitarian toll. Indian militant groups' involvement in these conflicts, particularly through VBIGs, contributes to this crisis, as their actions intensify junta offensives. Limitations and knowledge gaps. Limited June-specific data. Most reports on Indian militant groups' anti-PDF activities predate June 2025, with January 2025 being the most recent detailed account. June activities are inferred from ongoing trends. Unclear direct engagement. NSCN-IM's role is logistical rather than combat-focused, while VBIG's June operations lack specific documentation. Casualty and impact data. Exact losses inflicted on the PDF by these groups are unreported, complicating impact assessments. Junta coordination details. The extent of direct junta coordination with Indian groups remains speculative, relying on secondary sources. Conclusion. In June 2025, Indian militant groups like NSCN-IM, Unlf, PLA, and Kykl continue to oppose the PDF through coordinated offensives, logistical support, and ethnic manipulation. Their strategies exploit junta resources, border porosity, and regional tensions to weaken the resistance. Reasons for supporting the junta include securing safe havens, countering Kykl groups, accessing resources, and evading Indian pressure. Their ambitions focus on maintaining bases, expanding influence, destabilizing rivals, and leveraging junta support for separatist goals. Despite limited June-specific data, these groups' actions contribute to Myanmar's conflict complexity, undermining the PDF's resistance and exacerbating civilian suffering. Continued monitoring is needed to assess their evolving roles.